When Kimberly Kovacs worked as a CFO, she felt frustrated by the limited software option in accounting, particularly with the clunky spreadsheets that represented the industry standard. That experience inspired her to start OptionEase, a new platform that lets CFOs account for equity transactions, and today her company assists more than 700 private and multinational public corporations, all of which have share plans. Please welcome to the program co-founder and CEO of OptionEase, Kimberly Kovacs. Kim, welcome to Talk Business 360.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure to be here today.
Kim, you were a CFO once. Tell us more about why you started OptionEase. What tools were CFOs missing?
So I was a CFO for over 15 years, and mostly with privately held companies. And in 2006, there was a change in regulations that required companies to start accounting for their equity on their books and records. And the only option that a CFO had was to use a spreadsheet. And unfortunately, with these changing regulations, the spreadsheets were no longer accurate, nor were they auditable. And so when an auditor would come in and review the records, they were having a real hard time following the trail through the spreadsheet. So what we established was a software as a service application. It's hosted in the cloud, and everyone can access it, including your auditor, legal teams, board of directors, and executive management.
So how does OptionEase address these needs?
So what we do is we take a very complex set of regulations that involve all different types of equity instruments. So you could have options for your employees, you could have warrants for your investors, you could have other what we call contingent liabilities on your equity that you need to account for in different ways. And the rule itself is about 300 pages long, plus then you have interpretation by auditors. And so what it leads to, or what it addresses, is a very complex set of regulations. And in our application, you can put in your equity plans and then model them. So not only can you account for them as per the rules and records, but you can also now do modeling for additional financings and other things that come up. So that when you, for example, have a new financing round, you can do what-if scenarios to see what the impact is for those various investors. So what we've done with this tool is we've taken it beyond just the regulatory issues, but also into a usability section for the CFOs and for management in managing their equity.
And finally, Kim, what are the benefits of companies having employee ownership or offering equity compensation?
So in my history with companies, especially early-stage companies, ownership is very important. It is for the investors, and it really is for the employees. A lot of times you can't pay top-rate salaries, and so you can complement their wage or their compensation with equity. And what it also does is it puts them in the right mind frame in the right direction. So, for example, if you're an investor, you're really looking out for the bottom line of the company. And so you're making decisions along those lines, as opposed to what's good for me in my payroll, or, how many hours am I going to put in today just to get my paycheck. A lot of employees, as they are now owners in the company, really take that seriously, and a lot of them will work those extra hours and make decisions as if they were investors. So I think it's really important. And who doesn't want to be a billionaire, right? So we've got a culture in the United States, especially, about equity ownership and that payday at the end when the company goes public or they get sold.
Well, Kim, this has been very eye-opening. Thanks so much for your time today.
Thank you very much.
That was Kimberly Kovacs. There's detailed information available at www.optionease.com.